Hi, welcome to Ten Sisters TV. I'm Carmen Geddes, and today we're coming back and talking a little bit more about half-square triangles. We talked a little bit before about hard-to-piece fabrics, and I just wanted to talk about a few and a little bit of the luck that we've had with them. Some of my favorite fabrics that are out there are called the shot cottons. In fact, when I first heard that name, I thought it was shock, like the shocking cottons. They are these great fabrics out there. Quite a few manufacturers make them, and what they are fabrics that have different colors of thread woven in, so you just get this really nice depth and texture to the fabrics. But they do have a few drawbacks. If you haven't pieced with them before, this is one of my favorite lines. These are the peppered cottons from Studio E Fabrics. They're gorgeous. They're really nice weight. They do tend to fray, and sometimes when you press them, they will kind of curl up. So for traditional piecing, these can be a little bit hard to work with. Some of the other ones, these are some beautiful shot cottons done by Keith Fawcett. The issue that I have working with these is they're very sheer. They're very lightweight fabrics. They're just beautiful, but they are really lightweight. So again, traditional piecing with these kind of fabrics, you might have some issues with. Another type of fabric that comes up is a lot of quilters are making memory quilts. They are cutting up old clothing and making quilts out of them. And so sometimes they might be old fabrics or a little bit worn fabrics. So piecing on top of that foundation, again, is a perfect way to work with some of these hard to work with fabrics. Another one that I am really excited to be working with are some silk fabrics. Now silk fabrics are, I mean, if you can see here, they have so much give to them. They are really stretchy fabrics. It was actually kind of hard just to cut out a really good square. And so again, those are fabrics that when we piece on top of the foundation using these hard to work with fabrics, we're going to have a lot more success and get to have some quilts or projects done out of fabrics that we would never think that we were going to use. Okay, so enough about those. I want to leave this here because I do want to say one more thing about piecing the half square triangles. Just in case you haven't seen, there are a couple more videos on the half square triangle, so if this is the first one you've seen, be sure to check out the other videos and see. When you are piecing with the half square triangles, I'm just going to call them pieced squares because it doesn't, I just have the half square triangles, but there are a lot of squares or a lot of quilt blocks that that can have a lot more piecing in them. So I'm just going to call them pieced blocks. Okay, I pre-make the half square triangles. We talked about that in the other video. The trick, when you are piecing with a pieced square, then the piecing becomes about how to get nice points. And so one of the nice things about piecing on top of the foundation is just like with the regular squares, the square does not have to be perfect, but the way to get really nice points is to put that pieced square so that the seam of your piecing goes right from corner to corner. And so on the Ten Sisters EasyPiecing Grid, all of these squares are marked, the corners are marked with a little X to indicate the corners. And so that's what I mean by corner to corner. You want that seam to be going from X to X. So if you have a half square triangle where one corner looks great, the other doesn't look so great, but it fits inside that pieced square, and when you fold your right sides together, it's going to fit safely inside that seam allowance, then your points are going to come out really nice. And so that was another thing I wanted to show you. One more tip that I wanted to show you with piecing on the grid, or when we're working with white fabric or just really light colored fabrics. And so here's a project that I am working on, and This is another one with squares and half square triangles. But the issue that I want to point out to you is where the logo is. So on the Ten Sisters panels, we've got the logo up here on the right side telling what size grid you're working with, and then here's all the cute sisters on this side. That's me right there. So when you're piecing on top of this, now remember, when you're piecing on the grid foundation, the most important part of the whole process is making sure that that fusible side is up. So what I want you to see is this one, is this right here, and I think you can kind of see this through the camera or through this is, so I've been piecing and it's great on top of the foundation, but when I'm piecing over the top of the logo, especially with this white fabric, you don't want to see me smiling through your white square. So what I do in that case is I just iron a square down on top, and then I take an Elmer's washable school glue stick. This is a starch-based product. I like the purple ones because you can see them. They do dry clear, but after I iron the first one down, or at least place it down, then I just do a little extra line of glue, and I'm kind of staying basically out in the seam allowances so that I'm not going to be seeing this at all, and then I just put another square right over the top of it, and that has worked out awesome. The other thing that I wanted to show you today, if any of you have actually come to some of my classes, you will know that I think I'm a gadget girl, and I love finding new things, and I found this little, and I am a travel iron collector, but I found this little iron by Dritz, and it's a little bit bigger than just the little triangle irons, and it has 3 temperatures and has this nice little stand. Oh, see, so it will stand up. But I like it because it works perfectly, especially on the 1.5 and the 2-inch finished, and so it just works really well to kind of go from corner to corner. In a previous video, I gave the tip of when you are placing your squares to use a little dab of that Elmer's washable school glue stick, and it works great. But using a little mini iron is really nice too for placement, and you're not ironing the whole square down. When you put your square down on the grid, you're just using that iron to just do basically a corner to corner and just to place it. That way, if you do find that you've changed your mind on a fabric, or if you put one in the wrong spot, if you use the Elmer's washable glue stick and you want to change that block out, that the glue dries pretty well and it sticks pretty well. So I will get just a little bit of water on a sponge and give it a little dab, and then peel that up rather than taking the iron to it, trying to heat it up. But if you use the iron for placement, you can actually warm it back up with the iron, and then that will peel off really easily, and then you can replace it or adjust it or whatever you need to do. So that was just a little tip on kind of a fun little iron that we used. So that is the tip for if you've got a light colored fabric. It works really great to cover up. It's easier than sewing it in and then trying to tear that foundation out from under it. It's nice to keep that in. It helps the quilt be nice and stable, and doubling up on the fabric works really well. One thing you could actually do too, if you had a print that was a pretty see-through print, then maybe put a solid fabric underneath and then put your print on top of that so you don't see the underneath print shining through. And so that works really well. Okay, so now I want to show you how to sew these half square triangles and how to make sure that those points look really nice. So let's go to the sewing